Thanks for joining. This is Movado, and I'm back here with another Empyrion Galactic video. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the manual fire weapon limits. A lot of people think the limit is 21, and to a certain extent that's kind of correct, but you can actually get a lot more than 21 if you set up your weapon groupings correctly and use a variety of different weapons. So I have my Soter SV here as an example because it has a lot of placements for a lot of weapons. I did cram some extras on, as you can see these here. Just stuck them on for the sake of display, but let me hop in the cockpit, and if you look across the bottom, you'll see, if you count them up, I actually have 26 total weapons plus the detector, so for a total of 27. Not the way I would recommend loading out the ship, but I just loaded it up for the sake of demonstration so you can see how many different weapons you can fit on here. Now, the reason why I can fit this many is basically how the game is written, or how it's designed, or at least how I've perceived its design based on how I've built ships and what works and doesn't work. Essentially, the game has a manual fire limit of 20 total manual weapons, but it does not count the first weapon in each grouping. So when you look across the bottom, basically you deduct one off of every grouping across the bottom here, and then you add that up, add the remainder up to get up to 20. So if we take the first one, we have 10 plasma cannons plus 4 of the heavy lasers, so we're at 14, plus 1 puts us 15, plus 2 puts it at 17, plus 1 18, plus 1 19, and plus 1 20. So that's how it works. The game does not count the first of every weapon group. You deduct one off, and that's what you're left with. The other thing I've noticed is you cannot fill up your entire toolbar with weapons. So if you use that logic that I just said, right? Let's see, what weapon don't I have on here? I know what I don't have. Let me go to my inventory, and these are Reforged Eden weapons, so if you're not playing Reforged Eden, if you're playing vanilla, that's fine. This still all applies. Okay, so you see I just took off one, and I put a unique item. So in theory, from what I just described to you, we should be able to do that. However, you look at the bar and only like half of them are showing up. That's a glitch that I found where the game gets confused if you put 8 weapons in your bar. So number one, don't put 8 weapons in your bar. You are kind of capped to 7 total weapons. I'm just going to undo that. But if you limit yourself to 7 total weapons, you can actually get up to 26 as shown here. You don't have to put 11 in one or 5 in another. You can completely mix and match all 7 of these groupings to any mixture that you want, and that is completely up to you. But that's how the weapon limits work. That's how in some builds you're able to see weapons can exceed 21 total weapons. However, on the flip side, if you put all of one weapon on your build, if you wanted to put 21 plasma cannons, you could do that. You can put up to 21 of one weapon because, again, if you deduct that one, it equals 20 total, but then you won't be able to put any other weapons, and you are capped with just those 21. All right, well, that's all I got. That was a quick explanation. I hope you found that helpful, answered any questions on how the weapon limits do work. If you do have any questions, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, please do, if you see are on my channel, please do like, subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for joining, everyone. Take care.